This is our news, the weekend edition, and on the broadcast tonight, police investigating the country's latest homicide. Plus, the NHI's chairman defends the revised scheme, and more on the search for a new hospital administrator.
Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Good evening, I'm Andrew Knowles, and thanks so much for joining us. Topping the news, police are investigating what's believed to be a homicide after the body of a male was discovered in bushes by some neighborhood kids this afternoon. Police press liaison officer Superintendent Shanton Knowles says when police were called to the scene at Martin Close off Cowpen Road around 12 this afternoon, they found the man's body.
We've been speaking with neighbors, persons in the area, and what they're telling us is that around that time, children, as you can see, there are a lot of children in this area, but children were playing in a field nearby when they discovered the body of a man. They ran to parents. Parents went back to that location and confirmed that there was a body there. Officers, upon discovering this man's body, noticed that he had injuries to the head and of course to the neck area, and of course we are classifying this one as a homicide.
Superintendent Knowles says the victim's injuries appear to be from gunshot wounds, and she suspects the body might have been there for about 48 hours.
Our neighbors are also telling us that about 2 days ago they heard what sounded like firecrackers in this area. They did not call the police. They did not pay attention to it. Of course, you know, this is the Halloween season and we're hearing a lot of that. And so they thought that's what it was. We suspect the injuries may be consistent with gunshots. But of course, we will have to wait an autopsy's report to determine that.
This is the third homicide in the last few days. On Tuesday, a man was shot and killed while sitting on a truck on Parker Street off Plymouth Street. 2 days before that, a gunman shot two men on Dorset Alley, killing 34-year-old Jamal McSweeney and leaving the other victim in serious condition in hospital. In response, Knowles says authorities are beefing up foot and mobile patrols in various hotspot areas.
But since last week, Monday, we've added patrols to the streets of New Providence. We've scaled down on our administration work in police headquarters so that we can ensure the public that we are out there and their safety is definitely our concern.
Now, Knowles says they haven't been able to determine the victim's identity as yet, and authorities are appealing for the public's assistance with information. Meantime, two men are in hospital nursing gunshot wounds after they were shot overnight in separate incidents. Police say it was shortly after 2 a.m. Sunday when a male was walking on Minnie Street after just leaving a nightclub. The man was reportedly approached by a gunman who shot him before running away. The victim was taken to hospital where he is listed in critical condition. Then about 2 hours later, a man was standing in front of a home on Miami Street when he was approached by a gunman who shot him before running away. The gunshot victim was taken to hospital and is listed in stable condition. Police continue to investigate both matters. On to other news this evening. The National Health Insurance Authority recently released its revamped National Health Insurance Plan and a policy paper detailing how it would work. While there has been public uproar over the proposed implementation of an income tax to fund NHI, the authority's chairman insists the revised scheme is one of the only ways to prevent patients from falling through the cracks. Our Jasmine Brown reports.
The problem we have at healthcare today is experience-based care. So in other words, the sicker you are, the other conditions you have, the more you pay. The essence of a national health insurance program, what we have designed, is that no one will be excluded on the basis of their current illness. No one will be charged more on the basis of their current illness. So it is a shared responsibility. And so for those who have pre-existing conditions and so forth, on joining or enrolling in the National Health Insurance Plan, for those conditions that we have outlined so far, including primary care, that whatever is in our resources to provide you with the best care you have, we can provide it.
The NHI Authority draft policy document titled National Health Insurance, a Shared Responsibility noted that about 8% of Bahamian GDP is being spent on health care, but the Bahamian population is not seeing any of the much-needed benefits for this expenditure. The document released on Tuesday also noted that despite the investment made, the previously stated problems of an uninsured and unhealthy population are leading to an inefficient and expensive system with poor health outcomes. The NHIA proposed a 2% payroll tax to fund NHI, which Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands has said will cost $100 million annually.
When you come into the hospital and you are enrolled on a national health insurance plan and the doctor says these are the drugs you need to have, I don't expect you to be laying in bed waiting for someone to come and bring some couple of dollars for you. I don't expect someone to come and bring some couple of dollars for you to pay for an MRI scan. Or if you have ischemic heart disease and you need an angioplasty, that you need to wait in bed for someone or to go to get a loan for you to have it. So we are all sharing in this cost.
The policy paper also referenced the long wait times due to increasing demand for public health services, which have placed a significant strain on a system with limited resources. There have been concerns expressed by some who say the Bahamas is not ready for NHI given the poor service and facilities in public health care. Roberts admits that concern is valid.
This is our greatest concern. Will the public facility meet the standards that the people expect to have when they're starting to pay for care? Well, the first thing I can tell you, working inside the public system for almost 40 years now, okay, that as they say in Shakespeare, the good is often interred in their bones. People always know about the bad things that happen in the Princess Margaret Hospital, but really, or what happens in Iran. They never tell you about the thousands and thousands of good care that's delivered. We intend to better that care. We intend to minimize as much as possible the level of care that we consider not to be safe care, because we want to have our system to be entrenched in quality.
Roberts says officials are hoping the implementation of NHI will prompt the improvements.
We're looking that national health insurance will be a catalyst for reforming the way doctors are paid, the hospital is paid, okay, and how the hospital collects its monies. Because for practical purposes, if each person who is not employed, as all people are employed, and each person that is not employed that comes under the banner of the government, then every resident legally in this country becomes a private patient. So in other words, the healthcare system, the public healthcare system, can bill for the services.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
All right, thanks a lot, Jasmine. Well, the search is still on for a new administrator for Princess Margaret Hospital. Since government's announcement that former administrator Mary Walker had been transferred to Sandilands Rehabilitation Center, there has been no word as to who would fill the role permanently. Walker, however, was seated in the back row of a press conference held at the Public Hospitals Authority's head office last week. PHA Managing Director Catherine Weish gave an update on the search for her replacement.
The current position is being filled in an acting capacity by Ms. Sonia Rhodes, who's sitting right immediately behind me.
And we will take our first break here, but still ahead tonight, the push to using more solar energy. That story and more when our news returns.